How Nonconformists Move the World. Organizational psychologist Adam Grant shows how everyone can access their inner creativity to become an original in their lives.
Originals feel fear too. They're afraid of failing. But what sets them apart from the rest of us is that they're even more afraid of failing to try.
Researching his book on originals, Adam discovered one of the most surprising secrets to their success is procrastination.
Procrastination gives you time to consider divergent ideas, to think in nonlinear ways, to make unexpected leaps.
If you believe procrastination is keeping you from balancing your life or from reaching your goals, Adam has a plan to turn this vice into a virtue. Don't put it off. Make procrastination work for you today. Adam Grant is here. And most of us think procrastination is a curse. You saw the fear look in the eyes of my audience as I brought up this topic. But you disagree. You think we got it all wrong.
I do. It actually turns out that if you delay things that need to be done, you give yourself time to incubate, to come up with new ideas, and to see the world differently.
You call actually you're a precrastinator, right?
Guilty.
Guilty. You call me a precrastinator. So please explain it to everybody what that means and how that can actually cause problems for people like you and the few out there who actually aren't the procrastinators.
Yeah, so you know that panic you feel a few hours before a big deadline when you haven't made enough progress? Well, precrastinators, we just feel that several months ahead of schedule.
Now, there's some women in the audience today that have admitted that they're procrastinators. They actually are in the category most of us tend to live in, and they're looking for balance. One of them is Kelly.
Hi, Dr. Oz. It's Kelly. I'm a wife and a mother of 4 beautiful kids, and I procrastinate all the time. Procrastinate on my dreams of going back to school. I don't know if I just don't have enough time, or I just need a little bit of push. I start and I never finish. Dr. Oz, please help.
So Kelly is joining us in the audience. So why do you think being a procrastinator is holding you back?
Well, I work a lot. I have 4 kids, and I'm busy. So I got to try and find the time to fit it in. And I just seem like I don't have enough time.
So time is a big issue. There must be a downside of procrastinating. How do you reconcile this with folks who are struggling with that reality? Not enough time, and there's actually a penalty they pay when they don't get things done.
Well, I think the danger of it is that you never end up delivering on the promise, right? So you say, I want to go back to school, but then you put it off, and you put it off, and you don't end up going.
So how do you make it into a positive? How do you learn from that and turn a tendency into a plus and get past the guilt and shame so many folks feel about procrastination?
I think you work on it while you're procrastinating, right? So even if it's not time to go back to school yet, you're able to come up with new ideas. You're able to think a little bit about what do I want to study, where do I want to go, and you feel like you're moving a little bit more and more in that direction every day.
So if Kelly were to say, I'm picking a date, by this date, 2 months in the future, I'm going to get this done. Is that a tactic that works, or is that just delaying the inevitable? We're going to procrastinate then anyway?
No, deadlines are incredibly motivating, and you usually need someone to hold you accountable to them. So you tell your spouse, you tell your kids, look, I'm going to do this. And then they come to you and say, hey, Mom, you know what? You said you were going to go to school. What's up?
So, Kelly, you're accountable to the whole country now.
Yes.
You can't get out. So what are the right things to procrastinate on? But where does it actually not make a difference? And what are the things you should never procrastinate on?
Well, you don't want to procrastinate on things that urgently need to be done now. Your health, for example, exercise, right? You do those things right away. But creative problems, when you're trying to come up with a solution to something you haven't figured out yet, sometimes putting those off can give you a little bit of freedom to think differently.
So when we come back, Adam's plan to help you reach your dreams and get past the procrastination. Adam Grant says there are simple ways all of us can benefit from procrastinating. The first is to boost our focus if we do it right. I would think procrastination would be the opposite, that you would not be able to focus, so you procrastinate.
Well, the cool thing is sometimes we have our most creative ideas when we're a little bit defocused. So if you're a morning person, you actually have more new insights at night. And so by procrastinating, sometimes you can clear up those fuzzy moments to give yourself time to think in a way that's not familiar and less structured.
So fear and doubt tend to be the cousins of procrastination. You argue we need to embrace them.
We do. A lot of people are afraid of failing. And so they put off that story they always wanted to write, the movie they wanted to make, the creative project they wanted to do at home. And yeah, failure is scary. But you know what's even more frightening is the fear of failing to try. Because in the long run, the biggest regrets that we have are not our actions, they're our inactions. They're the chances we didn't take.
You speak so beautifully in the book about this reality that everyone's afraid. I'm a little nervous walking out here every single day.
also
but I
happening
know
with
I'm
me.
even more fearful of not even showing up. And I think that's what you need to transition to, because the fear is not going to change. It's what you're fearful that might change. What kinds of things, let me ask Kelly this question, do you think you could get past? What fears and doubts do you have in your heart that create some of the procrastination you're sensing?
Well, time away from my family, not accomplishing it. You know, every year I start and I never finish. So pretty much that's it. Just, you know, the time away from my family and feeling guilty, you know, taking that time away.
And then you argue, speaking of fear, we have to imagine the worst case scenario. Why is that freeing?
So think back to school, last time you were taking a big test. If you're an optimist, you picture the perfect performance, and then you're excited and you go and ace the test because you studied hard. But if you imagine the worst case scenario, that causes you to freak out. You wake up about a week beforehand in a cold sweat, fearing that not only are you going to fail the exam, you're going to do so badly that your teacher will take away points on the last test.
That's more than a worst case scenario.
Yeah, that's terrifying, but it creates anxiety that motivates you to study. And then you prepare really well, and you're able to avoid that worst case scenario. So you can turn that fear into your friend.
Adam's new book, it's called Originals. It's available in stores now. The Blueprint for Balanced Scorecard, we've been talking about it, and how you can track your behaviors and track your progress on DrOz.com. Use it and share it. We'll be right back. The growing epidemic that affects 1 in 3 Americans. It's called fatty liver disease. You may have it and not even know it. If you catch it early enough, it is reversible. Find out if you have it and what to do about it. Then, fast food gets a bad rap. See how it's getting better for you. Some of the biggest chains in America, what are they doing that's good for us? All New Oz. That's coming up Thursday. Becca doesn't know. Soda breaks down